So this is the slide that happened. This is the Oso slide. Yeah, and this whole bit of road we're on right now disappeared for a bit. Up past Oso.
Anyway, I think they're getting active up here. I can see this. Again, we're close enough here that we just go up and down the hill.
No eyeliner or no pine needle?
Why don't we walk up here and take a little perspective?
Down and I see that looks like a cave on the side of the hill. So I worked and I got real brave and dropped down a waterfall area and into where this cave was. So there's a little waterfall here and there's another waterfall down below. So nobody really get to it by walking upstream or downstream. You know, it's nested between waterfalls. And what I found was where a capstone had come loose, the cave was a capstone had broken off of the canyon. And you could tell it was about 8 years ago because there's a little tree on top of the capstone that was going, meh, meh.
Ah!
And you could tell that that had happened about 8 years ago. And what we'll show you now is where the hydraulic plume cleaned away a nice portion of the jade seam. So what we try to do is we try to vary our path so we don't tear a hole in the woods. Speaking, you can engineer a path through the woods to pull boulders out up to 1,000 pounds, and nobody can even know can tell you what. So that's all completely no impact, no mark upon the land.
Yeah.
We are on top of jade.
Yes. We are in a structure. There's a giant boulder over here.
As this breaks down here, the jade seam cuts into the hill. The things that when I first discovered this place, when you're out in the woods a lot, you kind of go a little bit, you know, crazy prospector. I understand where the medicine men go. I haven't been there all the way, but I can see where they go when they spend all this time in the woods. So I was up here one day, and in one of those sort of medicine man moments, I was down at the lower end of this, at the top of the cliff, standing at the cliff, looking off, and I started hearing low frequency noises, like growls, and I was thinking, the dragon. So that it was making me nervous. So I walked up on the side of the hill, pulled my pistol and fired off a shot and openly said, "Salute to the dragon." And as soon as I did that, the mountain moved. A landslide came on the other side where I had been standing on the edge of the cliff. All the rocks poured off, the whole valley down here, all of the gravel in the bottom liquefied. A gap opened up on the other side of the mountain, made a 1 foot wide slip, and all of that stuff flowed off of the waterfall where I'd been standing. So when I heard that, I was dead meat and didn't know it, you know. Whoa. So when I moved up the hill and did that, and it's a very interesting spot. I just generally have that theory, you know, if you are in tune with things, you're not going to die out here. But
That's right.
Literally, there are holes in the ground, and you will see this over there, and you'll see pictures of that. Or if you're walking through the forest in a jade area, there are places where you can just fall through the ground and never be seen again.
Oh yeah.
The ground is hollowed out underneath. There are sinkholes, the serpentine's rotted away. People disappear up here. You know, they put all kinds of nefarious reasons behind it, but 90% chance someday they're gonna be found in a sinkhole. You know, with dirt.
Ahomatakiasun. Omahong. Omanitomiho. We ask for your blessing and to bestow your gifts upon us on our mission. We are humbly seeking your brilliance and your power. Let us be one with your greatness, and let us receive the blessings and gifts you have for us. Thank you. And for our teachers and our ancestors, Om Ahum. Ramyam Kam Om Ahum. All right. Got that? All right, we're in.
All right. About 8 years ago, this large capstone, which is a contact surface for a large jade deposit, slid down into the stream. And for that reason, this location had never been discovered, because the plume that this creates in high flow is what has eroded this side of the canyon to expose these giant boulders. What you have on the contact surface is tremendous amounts of calcite jade. The host material is a serpentine material that is intruded into the area, and the jade has formed as seeds along one side of the intrusive serpentinite material. The nice thing is the structure here is revealed very, very well for us, so we can trace these structures, which go for miles. We figure there's 6 miles of strike length of material like this in the Darrington complex, and we find it outcropping in numerous locations through the woods. But we can also pick up the biological regime that is surrounding this material, and I've learned a lot about the geology. This site reveals more about how jade is formed than any other site in the world. It is an untouched jade exposure, and has been visited by top-line geologists, so I'm not just talking through my head. This is an example here where the Seagulson Creek Canyon cuts through a major lode. This is low down in the canyon, and an area that has been recently eroded away over the last, say, 10 years. What you have here is the serpentine host intrusive, which will contain material from serpentine to cherts to talcs, as well as the high-end gem-grade jades. For example, here is a seed that has eroded out of the serpentine that is hard. It's a hard, solid material and will contain a lot of good jade. This rock behind me, similarly, you can see how it's weathered away. But in general, this whole area, the jade's been exposed for millions of years, and so it has a tendency to be relatively soft. And the boulders that are here that have survived are many exceptionally hard and super good epic sculpting projects. So today we are doing inventory of all of these large boulders where this cuts the seam, with the idea of having those in situ inventory for Sculptor's Reserve, as well as proving out the gem grade portion of the seam, which is probably 5 to 10% of the total.
Okay, it takes several competencies, lots of different people to make something like this all come together. We're not operators, we're not miners, so we're looking for other people to operate here, and in particular, this one needs the stewardship, I believe, of a group like yourself.
So what?
And that's what we're categorizing. The one over there on the other side of that log is solid jade. So these are, that one there, 20 tons a day, that one over there, 10 or 15 tons a day. Both good quality. Nicely translucent green with a minimum number of
This is what you're talking about.
Yeah, nice stuff. You get down on the other end of this and it's beautiful to see looking underneath it, but it's pretty impressive.
How much weight do you think this is?
I don't know, that's probably a better guess at this. It runs about 4 feet thick in the middle and then it seams out.
Let's see you do a steel test right here, my friend.
Probably about 12 tons.
About 12 tons a day.
Really hard.
Super, super hard.
Nice.
Nicely translucent. State doesn't have a budget problem, they have a management problem.
Yeah, right.
And in fact, Ken Agron, who's been collecting up here for years and had a wonderful toroidal collection, was the first guy to go down to Big Sur. And they were just kind of funny because he shows up with an entire pickup load of stuff that they're selling by bits and grams and things like that. And he's got, so it renders people catatonic. They don't really know how to adjust to it.
Wow.
And indeed, these deposits are as big as and competitive with what BC has.
Oh, wow.
You can conceivably find